Hello! Okay, my name is Boxy. I am your friendly neighborhood YapTuber. Today's topic is gonna be life. Now, life is a pretty easy topic to talk about because we all go through it and we're all going through it. Of course, we all start life the same, or kind of the same at least, in where you are a baby, right? You were born a baby, you kind of grow up to then become a toddler. Now, from my experience, you don't really remember any of your early years, like as a toddler, like 1 to 2 to 3. But when you really start like remembering things, you at least like 3 to like 5. That's when you start remembering stuff. At least in my opinion, or in my experience, that's when you kind of start like have memories of. Fonder memories. I don't like, my memory's really shit, but fond memories at least. From a toddler, you kind of start as a teenager after that. You started as a teenager at 13. Now, of course, whoever you are, I think we can all agree that teenage years are the worst, and or just in general kind of the point where it all feels the worst. Everything kind of just feels the worst when you're a teenager because you're growing, your mind is growing and everything else is growing, and then somehow you're considered more adult even though you're still a child, right? You go from 13 to 14 to 15 to 16 to 17, and then suddenly you go to 18 and then you feel like, oh shit, dog, I'm an adult now, what the fuck is going on? But you're not really ready for that, right? I remember when I was 18, like, I felt like I was not ready for the change of being 17 to then being 18. Being 18 was like, oh my god, I'm old. Even though now I'm like, 18? Girl, you wish you were 18. No, it's not like that. But it's more like, girl, you were not at all as old as you thought you were, babe. Because after 18, it all kind of just goes up from there, right? You feel kind of unstoppable as a teenager. It's like, oh, I'll never grow up. And then you hit 19, and then it all kind of hits you. It's like, oh my god, next year, I'm going to be 20. I'm going to be 20. Now, 20 is a different story, right? I remember when I hit 20, it all felt like unreal in a way, because you feel like, oh shit, I'm back to like 0, right? I have a like a 2 and a 1 now, or a 2 and a 0 now. I feel like I matured so much, but I didn't at the same time, right? Because I kind of have to force myself to mature now that I have 20 in my number, right? If it kind of felt like, holy shit, completely cleared my mind of anything. I was like, oh my god, I just went from like teenager to not in just a second. And now it's kind of like, what the fuck do I do with my life? I'm like closer to 30 than I am 15. Like, but like, it kind of is like that though. You feel like you somehow just grown so much, even though you're still technically young, right? And then, like, it just kept going, right? But I hit 21, and it still feels unreal. I think we all remember our child years to be the fondest ones, the happy ones. Because technically, when you grow up to be an adult, you kind of have to think about getting a job and having a partner or moving out of your parents' house and stuff like that. And people might have already thought of that when they were a teenager, like 18, 19, right? But for some, it's not that easy to find a job or find a place to live or just make money, right? That's the part where where you grow up. It's where you think about money or start thinking about money and how to make it, right? You kind of go from living an easy, like, sliding on ice life, right? Just sliding through. Because, like, you can always blame your mistakes on being young. But when you grow up, you kind of can't, right? You go from not being held accountable for your actions to being really, really held accountable for your actions. And of course, that's a good thing, right? You should be held accountable. But it feels so surreal to go from, oh, haha, yeah, I can do whatever I want, to, fuck, I can't do anything. And then, like, Of course, you remember like being so happy when you were small, or being like at least seeing the world through a brighter light, being very innocent. And I think that's actually something that's proven, that you do actually see the world in a different light when you're small, because like something with your eyes or whatever. We don't do research. Research is for losers, right? Just take it from me, right? I guess I can kind of start talking about a little bit about school, because school is definitely a big part of your smaller life as a teenager, like, or up, right? Now, country reveal, I'm from Sweden, right? So I'm going to kind of try to teach people how that system works, right? So you start off in kindergarten, you go up from there, right? You start with first grade, second grade, third grade, to up to ninth. And ninth grade is where you get out of school and you start something called gymnasia, right? Gymnasia is 3 years of a chosen line of teaching, whatever, right? So in school, I don't remember what age you are in any of them, but that's okay. You remember like sitting in class, and you remember thinking that, oh shit, school is so boring, right? Fucking school, who likes school, right? But then you get out of school and then you're like, okay, what the fuck do I do now? Right? Especially if you don't have a job or a job opportunity after school or after gymnasia, it's kind of like, what the fuck am I up to now? Because really, I didn't make a lot of friends in school. So it wasn't the fact of, oh, I should hang out with friends. Who was there to hang out with? You go from like what in my opinion was pretty easy life in school, where it's like, oh, I have friends and I have like a structure, like I have something to go after, right? You know, today I have math, history, and English or Swedish or whatever, right? And then you go from that to gymnasia, and it's kind of the same thing. So I have quite fond memories of gymnasia. It was quite fun, actually. But then after that is you go from like feeling 100 to feeling like 30, man, because you go down in the dumps pretty quickly, because school like puts life in such a bright light for you. It's like, oh, you're gonna have so much fun as an adult, and then you get there and it's like, there really wasn't much fun. There really isn't much fun right now. You kind of have a hard time finding a purpose. We should probably get into a little bit what is the purpose of life as well. I don't think anyone has the answer to that. As like, if you look it up, it's different each time. But you kind of, like, when you get to an adult stage in life, it's like, now you have to find the purpose. But how the fuck do you find the purpose, right? And nobody tells you how. You kind of just have to guess your way through it. And you kind of have a purpose in school, right? To finish it, or to just, if you are a nerd and you want to get good grades. You go from having that structure to having literally no structure at all. So what am I doing now, right? There's people telling you to get a job. There's people telling you to get a driver's license. You gotta be an adult, right? But why does it have to be so boring to be an adult? I'm gonna do a little Dora pause here. And then we have like answers of because society and stuff. Gotta earn money, man. You gotta question a little bit though, right? We go from having so much freedom and happiness as children, and then we go to adult life, and it's like, where did all my joy go? Suddenly you're getting sucked, right? You're getting your energy sucked, right? I shouldn't have paused there. I apologize. I'm not gonna edit it out though. It's kind of funny. Anyway, you go from having so much to so little in such little like time as possible. And you have so many expectations, and it's almost like, how do I live up to those expectations when I don't even have expectations of myself, right? And then you kind of have to build yourself again and again and again and again. And it's like, it's crushing almost how many times I have had to rebuild my life because I have not thought that it was good enough, or I have to improve something, right? But when you're a child, you don't really think of improving. You think, oh yeah, when I'm an adult, I'm gonna have my life together. You never do. You never ever do have your life together. And you probably never ever will. And that's kind of like what you kind of have to accept as an adult. Because when you were little, you had dreams of being like, oh yeah, when I'm an adult, I have it all figured out. Yeah. no, you're lying to yourself. You're never gonna have it figured out. And that's kind of like what we've all accepted now. I haven't gotten my life figured out. How the fuck am I gonna start, right? Where do we all go? Where do we go from here, right? You'll never know, because you can't look into the future. You can only remember the past. And that's a quote. But I kind of want people to, like, who that watch this, to think a little bit about, like, what is my life about and what's it gonna be about? Because you never know. But why? Right? So we have a prompt, right? Think about what is the purpose of life, and then come back to me whenever I come back to this video. I kind of have run out of things to talk. It was a big topic today, though. It's a big topic, and you never know where that topic is going to take you, because usually it's such a broad topic. There isn't one thing you can talk about in life. We all have something. We all have something going on. We're all different. You and me, we're not the same people, right? And we're never going to be the same people. We're never going to be in the same stages of life. And I'm going to say this at the end. Life is very beautiful. Life can give you many things. Most of the time, it's a little frustrating, but sometimes it can be very beautiful. And I think life is beautiful. Another quote. I'm spitting bangers here, guys. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been a little long yap session today, but it's such a broad topic. It really can't get better than this, right? So I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you whenever I decide to upload again. All right. See ya!